look, I want to governor, go and pop this, assembly, go and pop this. I won't do that.
But why? I had a guest on this program, and he's a stakeholder in River State, who says you are confusing them in River State. Yeah. That on one hand, you're controlling PDP. On another hand, through the back door, you are controlling APC.
Who's that?
Tony Cole. He said he wants you to...
No, I want to know. There are several Tony Cole.
Tony Cole who ran against you.
They said, no. Is it the one that says they're Pastor Tony Cole?
Pastor, yeah.
No. People are...
Oh, the one, he ran against you. You forgot
against me.
No, as a governor.
It doesn't have what it takes.
Really?
No.
But it was on the ballot against you.
No, not me.
In 2019?
No. He was not a candidate.
There was a candidate of the APC.
There was no candidate of APC. Supreme Court said he had no candidate. They didn't participate in the election. They did not participate. How could he run against me? See. I tried to... I saw the clips. There was one pastor, Tony Cole, said, I'm confusing. Why? He should continue to be confused. At my level of politics, we are not at the same pair. Please. Tony Cole cannot talk about politics of Rivers and Nigeria and say he's going to sit down with me. He has no character.
Why did you say so?
Okay, let me tell you why he says so. I say so. When I come out to say this, people laugh. People are terrible. In 2022 to 2023, similar Fubara ran under PDP. That was when Tony Cole ran under APC. He didn't run against me. He doesn't have what it takes. He knows.
But he was a candidate of the APC.
He was not a candidate. Ask him now, was his name in the ballot? He was not. Will you run when your name is not in the ballot?
Well, you were the one putting fire in their house then?
Putting fire in my enemy's house?
Yes.
Am I to help my enemy to grow?
But does it help democracy?
What is democracy? That my enemy does not want to follow the law and the law caught up with him? What's my business? But anyway, so that they don't want me to say what I'm supposed to say. That's how you know characters. Tony Cole, I would have put him in jail.
Really?
Yes, as governor.
Oh
my God.
What offense?
Oh my God. These were the people who crippled the resources of the state with a clown. He was a conduit pipe with
he wasn't in power.
Sahara. No! Through Sahara. I'll come to that. I don't like to say things that I have no facts. I'll come to that. In 2022-2023, when similar was defeated the same Tony Cole, he went to tribunal and he just saw, from what I heard, they said Tony Cole is an injunction. Fubara injunction. He took him to tribunal. Fubara won. He took the Court of Appeal. Fubara won. Now, when he now saw, or when he heard, that there was a division between me and Fubara, you know what he did? He saw my former party chairman, Ambassador Desmond Akawo, who today is a federal commissioner in revenue and fiscal mobilization. What did I say? Ambassador Desmond Akawo, to come and talk to me. Huh? Desmond came. I said, what are you talking about? Who? Very cool. I will come and talking about from Pan to fire again. Amechi. I should support somebody Amechi. No, it's only more. He said, no. That's okay. Call him. My swimming pool. You called him. Everybody must be careful. He said, look, this thing, he wanted to support you now. And what about this Amechi factor? He said, no. Amechi cannot control him. So I now told Desmond, look at characters. What kind of character is this? Is that the kind of people you put in power? Now because you want to be this, you have denied Amechi now. Is that the kind of people, I'm talking about Tony Cole, who now thought my disagreement or so-called grievances or so-called problem between me and my governor will not make me to be angry to fight him for him now to emerge as the governor in Supreme Court. You see the kind of characters people are talking, and a pastor in that from what I heard people say, and that's the kind of thing people try to project You have denied Amechi simply because you want me to support you now. You have denied Amechi. But let me tell you, he was the one in charge of Sahara. You know what these guys did? They stole the state resources. They sold our gas turbine for $308 million US.
To who?
That's who bought it. Why did they pay the budget? Remember,
when you say they stole, that's a heavy allegation.
No, it's not about a heavy allegation. I'm telling you, when I say I mention every time, I say, my God, does this man think that everybody is dead? Nobody knows about this. You remember, that was the panel of inquiry. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
That he was indicted. Sarah was indicted. Amechi went to court. Even though he shot the court first. But when I came on board, I had opened the court. He was the first person that ran to court. The court is for the mighty and for the poor too. Thank God he has come. He lost. He went to Court of Appeal. He lost. He went to Supreme Court. In fact, Supreme Court judgment came out 3 days before the APC primaries, national primaries for presidency. Yes, now. You know, this country. So when I see people, this Tueko, he was the one in charge of Sahara. He was a convict pipe.
But no, he's the co-founder of Sahara. Just a moment. Let's let the record.
Well, I don't know what
he's the co-founder of Sahara.
Let him come and tell me what.
But if that company is involved in that, are you going to hold a co-founder, someone who is probably not running the day-to-day affairs?
I know he was
of the company.
As that day, he was. He was. He only resigned when he wanted to run for a governorship now. Yes. It's called that. Look at our hotel, Olympia Hotel. They took it, brought it to the hammer. Go and check. Go and check.
But is it a bad thing for a private sector person to buy over?
They stole. No. It was stealing.
What do you mean by
stealing? Totally stealing. Stealing. And let me tell you what happened. It's unfortunate for this nation, for this country. When I see people talking, when I say I'm making them talking and this.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In case you are wondering why I start with Wiki, say at every where any trouble end or stop, another one continues. So Wiki is just telling you the next trouble ahead. Why? Why Tonyeko? Why Amechi? Because it is obvious that the second coming of Fubara is pretty much going to be a lame dunk. Can't do anything. Literally, is not going to perform. They are going to shortchange the people of Rivers. And the people who have a big enough microphone to narrow in and expose that, to bring it to the conscience of the peoples of River, are Tonyeko and Amechi. Remember, 2027, Amechi, who I believe is going to be the running mate of Atiku Abubakar, has to deliver Rivers. Tonyeko, who still want to govern Rivers, has to also deliver. So there's a battle for the soul of the people of Rivers. Ordinarily, Wike and Tinubu should not have a problem. But because their chief marketing officer on ground cannot be trusted enough that he can, or he will not be allowed to perform enough to convince the people to vote for them come 2027. And naturally, Fubara is not. It doesn't have that personality in the first place. Coupled with the fact that now he's not in the box, so is the motivation will not be there for him to go out for his people. So Wike, being the quote unquote genius that he is already playing ahead. So before Amechi and Tony Kogo they gather their weapon from what is going to be happening to Fubara,
I want to go.
before they put their acts together and start jumping from one media house to another, or start feeding journalists, content creators, and all those people some kind secret, make I go attack them first. So that's what Wiki is doing now. Put them on notice. They come. You guys should stay busy with all these allegations first, instead of focusing on how Fubara is going to govern, as a lame dog. But let me keep you guys busy. That's what this segment of that interview is about. So that's why I started today with that, so that in case you don't understand what Wiki is talking about, don't worry. As time goes on, it will make sense.
My dear good people of Rivers State, you will recall that Rivers State was placed under a 6 months emergency rule declared by Mr. President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on the 18th of March 2025, following the intense political crisis in our state. It is without doubt that the 6 months had been enormously challenging for our dear state under the emergency rule. As your governor, I accepted to abide by the state of emergency declaration and choose to cooperate with Mr. President and the National Assembly, guided by my conviction that no sacrifice was too great to secure peace, stability, and progress of Rivers State. This was why I also resisted the pressure to challenge the constitutionality of the declaration of the state of emergency, the suspension of democratic institution, and all other action that we endured during the difficult period. In the course of this 6 months period, Mr. President graciously brokered the peace process with all the parties successfully. Our leader, His Excellency Onyesom Ezenwa-Wike, CON, all members of Rivers State House of Assembly, and I, as your governor, have all accepted to bury the hatchet and embrace peace and reconciliation in the best interests of our dear state. We believe the political crisis is now behind us and that peace and stability have once again returned to Rivers State, though not without the hard lessons learned from the emergency rule. The responsibility now rests squarely on us, the government, the State House of Assembly, the political leaders, the stakeholders, to put aside our differences, work for the common good, advance the interests of our people above all else. We have a duty to ensure that the peace we have all embraced remain permanent in our dear states. On behalf of the government and the good people of Rivers State, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. President for his fatherly disposition and decisive intervention in resolving the political crisis, and for graciously restoring full democratic governance to our states. Personally, I will never take Mr. President's kindness for granted, and for that, I hereby reaffirm my utmost loyalty and eternal gratitude. To those who have expressed genuine fear, frustration, and uncertainty over the nature of the peace process, I assure you that your concerns are valid and understood. However, nothing has been irretrievably lost. There remain ample opportunity for necessary adjustment, continued reconciliation, and inclusiveness. We must all remember the saying, the costless peace is cheaper than the cheapest war. Accordingly, let us therefore embrace this moment as a fresh beginning. Let us work together with renewed hope and determination to build a stronger, more peaceful, and prosperous River State. I assure you that we will continuously work together, ensuring that we carry everyone along. Despite the turbulence, you are aware of the credible milestone our administration achieved in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and other key sectors over the last 2 years. Our immediate responsibility is to return to the path of governance and development by completing the projects which we started, by ensuring that none of them is starved of fund or neglected, thereby reviving our economy, protecting life and property, and improving the well-being of all Rivers people. I commit to working harmoniously with the River State House of Assembly to recover lost grounds and accelerate the social and economic advancement of our dear state. I also renew my pledge to serve with the fear of God, humility, and a high sense of duty. I wish to sincerely thank you, the resilient people of River State, for your patience, your courage, your peaceful conduct during the 6 months of emergency rule. I also extend appreciation to all stakeholders, religious leaders, traditional rulers, civil society groups, political actors, women groups, youth, concerned citizens at home and abroad, and well-wishers who prayed and sustained us through the challenging period. Above all, let us draw strength from our shared identity as Rivers people. Our diversity is our greatest asset, and our unity the strongest guarantee of our future. We must rise above bitterness and division and channel our energy into rebuilding trust, fostering inclusiveness, and securing a peaceful and prosperous state for all. Once again, I thank and appreciate our father, Mr. President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his timely intervention and dedication to ensuring the restoration of peace and stability in our state. I also thank our leader, His Excellency Onyesom Ezenwa-Wike, CON, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, for committing to the prompt resolution of this political impasse in the states. I also wish to express my profound thanks to the President of the Senate, His Excellency Senator Goswell Akpabio, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, His Excellency Dr. Abbas Tajuddin, and the distinguished members of the National Assembly for the role they all played in resolution of this matter. I thank the Honorable Speaker and all members of the State Assembly, respected elders, stakeholders, and all concerned citizens for working together to resolve our differences and ensuring that peace and harmony is in our states. Finally, I call on all citizens of Rivers State, regardless of political, religious, and ethnic affiliation, to join hands in rebuilding our beloved state and ensuring a future of dignity and progress for everyone. In all, I give glory to the Almighty God. Thank you all. May God bless Rivers State and all its people. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Now, wow, ladies and gentlemen, now welcome. Why democracy died? That was a response to this whole speech. The response came from Obi camp about 3 or 4 days ago in Ghana via Democracy Dialogue put together by Goodluck Jonathan Foundation. They took it to Ghana to respond to this speech. And the theme of that dialogue was why democracy died. So my question is, who killed him? If indeed democracy died, how did he die? How did they kill him? What happened? Is it natural, spiritual, or physical? In other words, who are those people that kill democracy? So there was also a counter argument to that by Wike with his long special section with Sheung, where he lays so much allegations on pretty much to those the political players. So, but other than that, there are so many questions around all this. But and whether we like it or not, because the season of competition, there will be a winner and there will be a loser. Unfortunately, the grand losers here are the people of Rivers. But the winners still remain Bola Ahmed Tinubu for so many reasons. The fact that everybody that is complaining or has issue with this whole killing of democracy in Rivers State, none of them is bold enough to either go direct to Tinubu, or one will argue that Tinubu is smart enough to surround himself with people like Wike, who is pretty much on all fronts. So to get to Tinubu, you have to get through him first. That was what that interview of Wike was about. So he pretty much hammer everybody that matters, that we can take, that can make this process to his advantage. From Atiku to Amechi to Tonyeko to pretty much all of them. So they will have to wrestle with that first, and before you know, time is gone. So Tinubu has done a good job to actually barricade himself, assume himself all wrong. So to me, he is the winner, because it's going to be very hard for actually the opponents to take advantage of what happened in Rivers, which normally is supposed to come natural. Everybody is supposed to make up. That's one. Two, for the fact that nobody did dare it enough to sue Tinubu if they believe that he killed democracy. Nobody sue him. Like pretty much all the principals, all the actors that are involved in all this shenanigans. Nobody sue him or sue the process. Instead, they go assemble in Ghana to see how they will use and campaign. I don't see how that is going to work. So it's sad that the man actually paused democracy, but as they say in Ghana, killed democracy for like 6 months straight. And they resume exactly where they stopped. Because if you listen to the man's speech, this speech is either coming from Wike camp or Tinubu camp. I mean, what's the difference anyway? But it's clearly is not speech that is either written by him or anybody from his own camp. So what is he coming to do? So if anybody still out there that is thinking that they can actually use this against the administration come 2027, I don't know. I don't think that's a tall order. Because all you need to do is to go listen to Wiki. Wiki just actually laid the foundation for what is to come, because the game don't enter another level now. Another level now we don't enter. So everybody don't every camp is becoming very, obvious. Hey, this is where I belong. All you, as I said again, all you need to do is to go to Ghana, listen to all their speeches and the camp people that were, in attendance, and those who are not in attendance, which is Mahariwa people. That's the question I have too. Why is it that we are talking about how democracy died, how they killed them, whatever that means? It's a subject conversation that should be inclusive of everybody. Because if you say democracy died, right? Even though it's a bogus and political statement, but still, it should be inclusive, especially when that conversation is taking place under what? Democracy dialogue. We are supposed to be dialogue, whatever that means. But the northern parts of the country were excluded, or they refused to attend. Whatever that happened, but it was clear and obvious that the game has moved to the next level. Nobody should come and tell me that, Matthew Kukan is from the north. I get it, but he no count. Right? But what happened again yesterday, I 2 days ago? Bola Tinubu was in Kaduna. and the video that were given to the media was very deliberate, was specific. They picture him and that Lamido, Sule Lamido, former governor of uh, China Jigawa, one of the founding member of PDP. What does that mean? That's a statement to those who are still believing that the North are not with Tinubu. So there is a silent point being made throughout all these events, especially this week. But the obvious things to me there is that everybody is now done the answer. Everybody done the, pitch tent to where he's going to go come 2027. Soviets Obi is going to run, and you see them already, and they are gradually trying to uh, create a narrative that they will run with for the during the election, which is democracy. However, they won't phrase them. I wish them luck. But my question is that what happened to consumption to production? I be production to consumption. Anyway, make I no go ahead of myself and I end up being totally wrong. But again, as I said, I have to give it to the Tinubu administration. They are doing well. The whole media, in fact, Ara is like surprised me fast. How they just turn their back on the obedience is fucking hilarious. So the whole media right now is on those that kill them, those that presume to have killed democracy side. So, and you see as they come out layer by layer, Wiki come out first, lay his own foundation, trying to set the narrative heavily on their own side. Because the goal of those that went to Ghana to declare democracy dead is for that to be the conversation of pretty much throughout the weekend. But as I said, the Tinubu administration are ahead of the game. Now, as soon as Wike they finish, who else? You see, on a rise. You see, Boala focusing on Obi 24/7. So instead of the narrative of democracy die, to start taking shape among their media houses, content creators, everybody. No, instead they have to start defending the allegation that is being put before them. So they are in chaos right now, but they are professionals anyway, so they will they will find their way. But the most funniest thing to me so far during the week is Konkoso cry for help. I don't know how do I so the guy sees a combo. These three men, I mean, Tinubu is out of it anyway. It's not. It's whatever happened come 2027 by a story whether ends even if you win. Because if you win, the coast home that is it's not coming back. But Konkoso, I've seen it from a fast Como. The Obi coalition is taking shape, even without a face to it. Well, I mean, a face to it, even without a political party. But it's taking shape gradually. Again, just go study what happened in Ghana. Then the what's in article, whether you understand how article they move or not, all you need to do is to pay attention to the government of the day. That they always pay attention to that guy's move. So if you want to understand how article is moving, pay attention how the government of the day they respond to that. Even if you know come out actually grant an interview or anything, whatever is said via his media house, whatever, you see the government of the day, they pay attention. Now, again, you have to listen to Wike's special interview. One can argue, he's talking about PDP. What's the difference? So Konkoso see all this come. And the way Tinubu is going, so this guy is ready to wait him out. Konkoso cannot afford not to pick a tent now. Before November, it will be too late. Anything after November, it will be too late for him. He cannot afford to run with his NMPP. In fact, the way they go they devour for Kano, instead not go believe him. It's not going to be like 2023. Why? Because Baba is no longer there. What we go say, okay, what concern Baba and Kano politics or whatever. No. The fact that he is still struggling to get control of Kano APC means that there is a problem. There's a big problem for him. Because if he decides to just join APC without that guarantee or assurance that for him to be the leaders of APC in Kano or Northwest at large, that's a very tall order, but it's not out of reach. Then it's done. It's done. That means even the guarantee that is a governorship candidate, Abba, even though is the current governor coming back, is not guaranteed. And he's fighting his own the only thing that Kongozo have going for him right now is that he has the governor in his pocket, he has the emir in his pocket. But you need the third leg, which is the political structure. If you don't have the political structure to back this two leg up, I mean, there's no way you can make your case after 2027. So the next thing after the next wave of action of the Tinubu government is to start putting people in strategic places to start dressing Fubara acceptance. Let go of now let's focus on governance of the people, let peace reign, blah 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 blah. The people that's all those good stuff. Just there will not be room. The goal is to not even give an inch for the opposition to take advantage of the death of democracy in Rivers State. So you will see people of all sorts from different camps coming to say, Fubara should focus on governance, should forget about the past, blah, 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 blah. So they will choke the airwave to a point that there will not be there will not be a conversation around how the government of the day, who quote unquote kid democracy, should pay for it.
And those projects
No,
look
no,
out
no. I
to
think
the ball.
let's see.
Now, are you one of those who are
I
saying
know
we need
everyone
to
wants to
know
hear something from me. In fact, you expected it when I landed from the aircraft. Let me first of all appreciate the wonderful people of River State. I am really humbled by what I saw at the airport. I was also briefed with some photographs of what happened here yesterday. That reception really humbled me. It showed love, confidence, and solidarity. I want to say that it is not just the celebration, the massive reception by the number of people who came out to celebrate, but a display or reaffirmation of the bond between this government and the people that we are serving. I want to assure you that we will, by the grace of God, continue to do those things that has made you people love us. I want to appreciate everyone and to say that we love you.
The governor wife, there's so many women around her. But nothing new. Nobody got men.
Hey, sorry.
A lot of women around her. It's sad, man, that no, since then, no I don't know. Well, I won't say no protest because that's to like downplay the likes of the efforts of Hida Tokumbo and the rest of them. But it's sad that PDP just decide to go quiet. Well, wait to be PDPs are even though be wiki, especially in River State. For all this all this pro democracy, whatever nonsense that are pretty much at the mercy of USAID. Everybody just quiet. Instead, they assemble themselves in Ghana. Their excuse is that they want to reach the West African audience. No, when you are saying democracy, Bola Tinubu keep democracy, because that's your point. That's what the point you are trying to make. That dialogue should be held in Port Harcourt or Lagos or Abuja to really make that point that yes, it killed democracy. But instead, you took it away from where it matters most in the name of reaching the wide audience. I mean, it still doesn't make sense to me, but maybe as time goes on.
And those projects would not continue to work.
Now, are you one of those who are saying we need to know what happened in that 6 months? Accountability in governance, the finances, the state of affairs, there needs to be an account. Are you one of those? And if that is the case, who should look into that? Who should be responsible in looking into what happened in that 6 months? Is it the House of Assembly, or the president who appointed, or the governor who is the leader of the state? In your own sense, what do you think should happen? Or we should just say bygone be bygones, the 6 months is behind us, and let's move forward?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have judiciary in Nigeria. So there is no point going into issues that the judiciary will not attend to, or they will be reckless with.
Judiciary, sir? That may not be factual. We have judiciary,
I'm saying the judiciary is sleeping on duty, and they are now an appendix to the presidency. Likewise, the Assembly is an appendix to the presidency. They are no longer doing what is right to me, in my own judgment. And therefore, there is no point wasting your time to say you're probing him. But if at all there should be probed on the administration of the federal administrator, there are institutions like the EFCC, ICPC, the National Assembly, or the House of Assembly. The governor should not bother himself at all with probing the federal administrator. He should concern himself with peace building and how to bring development across the state. That is my advice to the government. Should not disturb himself at all. Let the House of duty it is to investigate. Let the duty of the National Assembly duty it is to investigate. And let the EFCC. Because my fear, even if they investigate and send to the judiciary, to still come back to square one. And so there's no point. But if they want to investigate, let them investigate.
See how how these people they shape narrative. And that's to tell you how these people, how the obedient or the opposition lost out of this media apparatus, right? If really they really want to get to the crux of the issue, well, I cannot just say media in general will not let go of that one singular question. The fact that the man decided to alter our constitution, like pause it, kill it, as they say in Ghana. There should be a consequence. I mean, the fact that they don't, that is not even it's not even important. Yeah, they talk about should you prove like who won't prove who. Mr. President said, no, I don't like what is going on in River State. I don't like the fact that the people, whether rightly or wrongly, decide to say, this is who want to govern us. Mr. President said, fuck the people of River State. Your votes don't count. Whatever you guys are practicing, fuck it. This is what I want to happen. I want that whoever you people want to be out of that place. I want this man to come. Now, however you want to analyze or describe what happened, it doesn't make sense. Right? So to some extent, to those who are saying democracy has died, they have a point. But that point will not cut through until they stay on it. They have to actually be in control of the narrative. The fact that they say, oh, should we prove the who won't prove them? I saying, who won't prove them? Nobody even have the guts to sue the process. Sue National Assembly for actually helping to breach the constitution. Nobody. You see me them. Who I don't understand. Who won't prove the military dictator that they brought in? Who? But of course, I waited. They can't question when they say me. They ask me that. So that's why why they carry their democracy dialogue go Ghana. Don't just make sense to me. Even though I understand that maybe the government of the day make things easy for them, but come on, man. What is they call it? Obasanjo has a library in Oga. If you invite everybody come there, nobody there to say good luck, the same thing. So, but for them to quietly take it out of where the action is, make them complacent too. They're also in the game.
Today, Fubara is supposed to resume work. The president lifted that suspension. But there's been so many arguments here and there. Like you listened to Anas, he said it was what the president did was unconstitutional. In fact, I had a program yesterday where I enumerated the points that Section 305 could allow the president, to suspend a sitting governor. Mind you, in 2013, the Attorney General then told the president, then Jonathan, you can't do it. He did in Yobe and 2 other states. Emergency, but without suspending the governor. What do you think about, what has transpired and the fact that, Fubara has been, the suspension has been lifted, is supposed to resume office?
Well, what's going on with this shit?
Today, Fubara is supposed to resume work. The president lifted that suspension. But there's been so many arguments here and there. Like you listened to Anas, he said it was what the president did was unconstitutional. In fact, I had a program yesterday where I enumerated the points that Section 305 could allow the president, to suspend a sitting governor. Mind you, in 2013, the Attorney General then told the president, then Jonathan, you can't do it. He did in Yobe and 2 other states. Emergency, but without suspending the governor. What do you think about, what has transpired and the fact that, Fubara has been, the suspension has been lifted, is supposed to resume office?
Well, in law, there's something called locus. In plural, it's loci. Now, this man that's talking, me, you, we are individuals. We don't have sufficient loci. The governor himself, Sim Fubara, has praised the president, has visited the president during this state of emergency, has said that the president did the right thing. So you and I, and that fellow, we cannot be...
No, he's saying that you can understand.
Yeah, but if you let me land...
expect him to say?
If you let me land... Well,
go on.
So you and I, we cannot, be crying more than the bereaved. We cannot be more Catholic than the Pope. This is the main personnel involved, and he said, I'm fine with it. The president did the right thing. The president saved River State. So if the man who is involved, the main dramatis personae, is saying that, then probably people like the fellow and you and I should just allow the sleeping dogs lie. I listened to him when he was saying that the president cannot remove a sitting governor. The president did not remove Simi Fubara. He was suspended. And this is not the first time that a governor has not been suspended in Nigeria. It's not even the second time. The reason why we're having elections, obstinate elections in particular in Ekiti State, is
That even sounds yeah, like look at this grammar when they speak. Like governor, president suspend governor. How? Motherfucker, now you appoint them. Like, see, that's your point of saying the media, you know. They shape the narrative in a way that, you know, a normal human, best way they reason, when they process things by themselves, oh, look at it come. Shit, this shit doesn't make sense. So they set it up so nice, right? They set it up so nice. You you put a legal question before an influencer. After you don't already, you know, set the stage for her. How do you set the stage? The stage is the speech. The speech is very telling. So, in a way, you know, it's not lying. You know, it might not be making sense, but that is the whole point of the conversation. That's why I talk say the government in power is in control of the media. How you going to put legal question before an influencer? Oh, a stage has already been prepared. Come on now. It's like giving the red meat to a hungry dog. Especially if that dog is from Anambra.
is because they once had a governor that was suspended and a sole administrator. It's because they once had a governor that was suspended and a sole administrator put in place. Listen, we need to look at precedent. Precedent takes preeminence.
See, in a democracy, you know, if it doesn't, so that's why they question those that say democracy die, right? So I thought I even, I mean, the louder you say it, the more ridiculous it appears. Like, this is the argument I was trying to make to Nigeria to understand that our governors don't have their own autonomy to pretty much do anything other than to spend money the way they are told to spend it. Because if we actually practice the democracy that was on paper for us to practice, it should be the other way around in the face. I mean, the governor no president no feel like, I mean, we model our democracy after America. Just now only military, right? Donald Trump sent to the street of DC. Just like Abuja, that's pretty much how DC is. And there was a resistance for pretty much everybody. Well, let me not say everybody. From the opposition, what I mean, everybody from the opposition. And just for a couple of days, even though in a way he argued that the fact that this is also under his own control, he has the right to do that. They begin swarm from left and right. And that now because now DC can't try it in any other states because there is nothing happen like that. And if you remember that they target cities instead of states. Well, this one that they argue, see, now just suspend. Like, you suspend what? Now you put on there. Well, that's what it means. So when I argue for dual sovereignty, these are the abnormalities that dual sovereignty will control. If every state has its autonomy to structure how is to govern its people, If we've Edo people talk, say, well, now that we have our own sovereignty, Oba will be our governor. Every other person that elected to Osadebe Avenue, now workshop be that. You have to be technically inclined. We want to build our state. But in terms of governors, should be rested solely in the Oba Palace. The one president, one man for Abuja will go to say, I want to suspend, I want to come over benefit. Like, is he stupid? Like, no. As you want, why I argue for dual sovereignty? Don't tell me how to expand the resources of my immediate environment. Don't tell me how to govern. You don't tell us how we should. That's why in a way I argue in support of Sharia law. That is what they want. That's what democracy is all about. You wait there, Abuja, now we will tell you how far you can encroach into our life. But it's the other way around. Now, what did they make people like this go come studio? They actually shout, scream to the whole world, a president suspend a governor that represents 5 million to 10 million people. And it sounds as if it's making sense.
Opinions.
I gave you one.
Yeah, which one is?
Jonathan.
Yeah, so in that case, in that case, let me land, please. In that case, that was an opinion. In that case, in that case, let me land, please. In that case, that was an opinion by the then Attorney General. So the Attorney General is like you and I. He's not a court of law, so he can give opinions. So let me tell you, what an Attorney General is at any point in time is a legal advisor to a president to give him opinions. So here's the thing, when you go to court, that's why they don't call it court opinions, they call them court judgments. And then
he equipped to the General Federation to himself. You and I are like that. Like, we be joke for this, we be joke.
Then in the case that I cited earlier, these individuals, some of them went to court and we've got court judgments. So until those judgments are overruled, then we have to say that what the president did is right. Some of them went to court and we've got court judgments. So until those judgments are overruled, then we have to say that what the president did is right.
There's
overruled, then we have to say that what overruled, then we have to say that what the president did is right.
There's the There's 11 PDP governors, if you remember, took the president to court. There's the 11 PDP governors, if you remember, took the president to court. And some are of the opinion that the courts just kept mute. There was no decision on that. They were arguing the case of appointing an administrator was unconstitutional. Suspending an elected governor was also unconstitutional. What do you make of the fact that the Senate just kept mute? That matter wasn't treated. I was talking to a senior advocate of Nigeria yesterday, and he said the courts kind of contributed to what we're witnessing in Rivers State.
Well, I think that the people that contributed to what we're witnessing in Rivers State, have been mentioned. The House of Assembly was divided. We're having conflicting, emotions. The House of Assembly was divided. We're having conflicting, emotions. And then, the executive, they had their own challenge. Don't forget, the reason why the Third Republic collapsed and why we had Sani Abacha is because of what happened, just like in Rivers State, where you had courts giving, conflicting judgments. And that's how Sani Abacha took advantage of the situation and came in. Like I said, I am governed by precedent. I've trained myself because of my legal training not to be swayed by emotions. Let's look at the president. What the president did, he had precedent for. The governor accepted it. The governor praised the president. You and I cannot cry more than the bereaved.
Yeah, Reno, the point here, I will soon bring up the issue of, we'll also discuss the issue of the government saying they've achieved their revenue target. But Dino was here and said, if you've achieved your... In fact, that's the commentary. Why are you still borrowing? But before I said that, presidents can be deceitful in that in the long run, if you set a wrong precedent, it becomes a challenge for our democracy like we have today. What do you make of that?
Well, I went to a military school for secondary school. I went to a purely military school, I had military training, and one of the things that they taught us in the military school is obey before complain. So when you have a precedent, you obey it, and then you go back to the institution.
We're talking about democracy.
Can I finish? You go back to the institution that set that precedent, which is the judiciary, and then you overturn it. And then that's how a society is governed by law and order. It's not just here. It happens in the United Kingdom. It happens in the United States. If you just go willy-nilly saying, I don't like this president, look, society is going to be very, very destabilized.
I think you're correct. When a court issues a judgment, if there's no injunction, you obey, then you take it to court, and then maybe they could. Now, Dino Melaye said, well, let me start from the premise that.
These clowns. Case closed. That's why I say Tinubu won. So every argument now we start and ends with that Fubara speech. Pichikam, we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. So what next? But whether they agree, whether end up convincing the journalist to agree with him, the president has been set. And at the talk, somebody is coming. Somebody is coming. A group of people are coming that will take hold of the presidency. And all this abnormally will be corrected. All these billionaires, with the people that is becoming billionaire overnight, they go assemble them one day, just like the way Vladimir Putin assembled his own billionaires in 2000. The same way Trump don't assemble all these Silicon Valley overlords a couple of weeks ago. Somebody is coming. We go assemble everybody. Say, come, this is it. Enough is enough. We got to get our act right. Now, either by fire or by force, this same precedent will be used. Anywhere where they want to resist, police go occupy them. Imagine say president come and suspend Lagos state democracy and put a military dictator there. Oh, Kampanta Shantarabubu. It's over. When recently Obasanjo see they run around the talk, if I wanted to talk about say whatever you like, so why it go make you sleep nice. That's fine. This is the easiest way to do it. By the time you put military on ground, take over Lagos, take over Rivers, take over Kano, it never finish. You go get third time, fourth time. That's the precedence that they are setting. After all, Reno will say himself na lawyer and he was trained as a military. Obeyed before what? Complain. We are in a very interesting time, ladies and gentlemen. We are in an interesting time. And I know we are not going to get out of this time the same. We are either going to be worse off or better off. But I believe we are going to be worse off. So the guys who are coming in are more dangerous. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. If you think these old guards love power, they want to die in power, you just wait a goddamn minute. May these guys, the so-called obese, the concosos, the showores, and the lies, get out of this process. you will see how they will tell you this is the best process ever. If you don't die now, that's what they said in Ghana. Let it get to their turn. They will protect this same process with guns. Boy, Obasanjo come in the name of protecting democracy. You wipe out primordial community. Now only good luck, really no overplay himself. And I think that is his own weakness too. And he paid for it. Buhari come, he spread answers bullets in the name of what? Protecting democracy. His excuse is that they want to overthrow his presidency. And electoral presidency. So that cannot be. And it stands. Tinubu come now, take out a whole sitting governor in the name of what? Protecting democracy. So even though the opposition disagree right now, by the time it gets to their turn, they will do worse. And it's going to be in the name of what? Protecting democracy. Obasanjo today, who is regretting, quote unquote, at this time we overhaul this democracy that we are practicing. His message in Ghana is that this current democracy is not sustainable to China innovation, whatever the grammar that they use. But this is a man that forced the same process on us because he wanted power. He agreed to every dictate it was given to him. When he took over power as a military guy, his credit today, one of his legacy today, that he transitioned Nigeria from military to elected president smoothly. That over stayed in power like Abacha or Babangida. And this is the process that he brought. At a time when people like Abacha came in, Babangida, and challenged this same process, one way or the other, he found himself in power again as elected president. And he did everything. Even when the average Nigeria is screaming that the constitution that you are working on, that but it's not suitable for us, the likes of Galify and they die making that point. But Obasanjo, no, did everything within his power to make sure this is our way of governance. Today is going from Ghana to Kenya to what are saying that it's that time we infuse the democracy, the Africans' way of life. Where you did before when people are being assassinated, overthrown, in order for them to entrench us with this system of democracy. So we are here again now, at a time whereby the war they define the democracy, even the United States of America that we copy, are redefining the democracy that they've been practicing for 250 years. Overnight, they empower the presidency to be like the Obas that they came to criticize and destroy, the kings that they overall, the religion overlords that they overthrown. But guess what we are doing? We assemble for Ghana to say no. The democracy that died, we have to resuscitate it. So I don't get it. So if all of us agree that this democracy that we are practicing is an alien to us, and we'll find out that it don't die, let it be an opportunity for us to now design another way of governance that suit us. But no, they want to resuscitate a dead democracy at a time when everybody is redefining their governance. from Ivory Coast to China to every part of. For God's sake, the British say, you know what? The democracy that we are practicing as an European Union is no longer suitable for us. We live in. They left. So if we agree that the democracy that we are practicing is dead, let it die. After all, we all agree that it's not working for us. There's a consensus on this. Honestly, I just pray those people who wants to resuscitate the democracy never come to power. That's why I wish, I pray as a Nigerian, that a person or a group of people should come and say, enough is enough. I don't give a shit if that person is a religious fanatic, a Christian extremist, an Islamic extremist, and juju, whatever. Come and bury the dead democracy. And not be me to say on that. There's a consensus on this too, that the democracy is dead. So let it die. Let's just remain there. It's an opportunity for us to now redefine our way of governance and them the consequences. But no, all these motherfuckers that are running around want to be president. They will defend this dead fucking system with their fucking blood when it gets to their time. That's why they keep quiet, thinking that they can rally Nigerians around the fact that what they have agreed that is not working, and also what they have agreed on that is dead. Why do you want to rally around Nigeria to go after the person that you think that kills democracy? That's why I don't see the brain behind why the obedience. I mean, this is me thinking ahead. I could be wrong. Want to adopt the strategy of a dead democracy, want to use democracy as their campaign strategy. If he has died, let it die. Because they want to rally around, they want to mobilize Nigeria to say Bola Tinubu has killed democracy. I agree with you guys. He did. Indeed, he has killed democracy. But don't we all agree that the democracy is not working for us? So what is the plan? If the plan is for us to resuscitate something that is already dead, now it ain't gonna work. The world is changing. We are part and parcel of that world. We are not going to be immune from that change that is coming. So those who want to resist the dirty democracy, good luck. Those 4 people where they look me with 2 left eye. Go like and share and subscribe if not. Or else get the fuck on. You hear me? Yeah, I said it.
To win a senatorial seat is now between 1.2 billion, 1 or 2 billion. You need that to win a Senate seat. To win a House of Reps, you need another 1 billion. State House of Assembly, you need about 500 M to win that. To win governorship, you need, depending on the state, for Delta, you need about like 20. For Rivers, you need about 25 billion. For Delta, you need about like 20. Some of those states in the north, to win a senatorial seat is now between 1.2 billion, 1 or 2 billion. You need that to win a Senate seat. To win a House of Reps, you need another 1 billion. State House of Assembly, you need about 500 M to win that. To win governorship, you need, depending on the state, for Delta, you need about like 20. For Rivers, you need about 25 billion. For some of those states in the north, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 billion. So it's a capital intensive project, which is what is driving the corruption in our country right now. So every time somebody is in office, it is not education the person is thinking of. Except if whatever he wants to do in education will provide some money that they can leverage on when the time for election comes.
That's simple. So they can gather themselves in Accra and say democracy don't die. They can suspend an elected governor in Rivers State in the name of trying to bring peace. You know, whatever you think they are doing, the number one at the center of that is how do I leverage this to either stay in power, stay close to power, bring power to fruition. That's what it's about, and it's about money. It's cash intensive. So, brethren, see you on the damages.